Hello folks, Laura here from Food Time and Garden. It's been snowing here for days. Not very much accumulation yet on this Mother's Day weekend, but I think overnight tonight, on Friday night, the accumulation is going to be a bit staggering. For us here, not enough to have to shovel, I don't imagine, but still quite a bit of snow left to come for the weekend that is upon us once again. So what I do is I wait, and I wait for spring that will eventually arrive after May is over and June begins. The days start to warm up and they've gotten longer. So to bide my time, all I can do is tend to my indoor plants, which has kept me sane while I watch the thawing of the snow, and then it rained and then it snowed again. So I monitor my green beans. Look at my green beans, folks. Oh my goodness. And look at my chives. Remember when they went in? Yes, indeedy. And I have a few squash plants that I just got started in there that as soon as they get big enough, I'll move them out and put them in a container of their own. And I just wait. I wait till I can plant outside into my garden beds. I mean, that's all I can do. I did, however, top off my pepper plants, my jalapeno peppers, because they've got a long time before they can go out. They cannot stand the cold. What a beautiful sunrise on May 24th. You know what they all sang? Red sky in the morning, sailors take warning. We had a rain event coming at us this day in particular to last for about 3 or 4 days. And it did. It filled up the rain barrels in no time flat. But mercy me, what a beautiful sky that I witnessed that morning. I was up early that morning sipping my coffee, and all of a sudden, the sun hadn't risen yet, and all of a sudden the curtains went red. And I jumped up with my coffee and ran outside with my camera to this beautiful, beautiful, amazing spectacle of a sunrise, with foreboding of storms approaching. And they did. But here's a little taste of my garden and what it's been up to. My indoor garden was growing. I harvested my beans. We ate beans. I planted some squash a little too soon in amongst my chives in the clay pot. Well, they grew and grew, so I transplanted them very quickly. And I need to divide that up and put that second one somewhere else, because it's just too much for that size of pot. But I have squash growing, and my chives, I put them outside along with my pak choi, which you'll see in a moment. In my little tote on my deck, I put my Swiss chard, and I put up a little yellow sheet for the sun to protect them, because all of a sudden, about a week after I transplanted things outside, it got hot. It rose to the 80s, and now we are in the 90s, close to 100, folks. I have had to cover up my seedlings. They don't like this kind of heat. They haven't had a full 2 weeks yet, or maybe just under a full 2 weeks, to adjust to being transplanted outside. I took them in and out for about a week, but then that's how we go, folks. We go from the snow's melting to 90. My pak choi is growing beautifully since I've moved it outside. There's nothing like gardening outside. I don't care what anybody says. Plants will grow indoors, yes. It'll keep you sane while you're waiting for the snow to melt, but there's nothing like the sun. Mother Nature, the sun, the insects, the wind, everything in combination. The plants just thrive. So what I had to do was I had to empty out my garden trug because the soil in it was spent. It had been a number of years. I've been, topping it up with compost, but I decided I needed to take it out, all of the soil, and replace it with compost and soil from one of my permaculture beds that I'm taking apart. Now, sorry about all the screens, but I have chipmunks, I have squirrels, and I have birds. And they love to peck the seeds, steal the seeds, eat the small seedlings, steal the plants when they're just growing nicely, because they've come out of a long winter too, and they're hungry. So you'll see my plants eventually. My plants in the backyard are growing beautifully. I've been harvesting asparagus and chives that I have in the backyard. My beautiful plant here with the pink flowers, it comes out of the snow with green leaves. It is an amazing plant. It really is. And the blooms on it are just beautiful and makes me smile while I wait on my peonies to grow, my irises to grow, my hostas to get bigger. I'm still waiting on all of that. But in the meantime, I have been just enjoying the garden. Early in the mornings I get out. I actually transplanted my rhubarb to the front of one of my permaculture beds by the stairs. My hydrangea plant, which is here, is just coming in. The leaves are just coming back from its long winter's nap. This particular spot in my garden is the last place for the snow to melt. So my honeysuckle bush is in full leaf out, and soon the blooms will be opening.